Good evening and welcome to Global Dialogue, a program dedicated to an exploration of global issues from a local perspective. My guest is Janet Reineck. She is the Executive Director of World Dance for Humanity, a group that raises money to buy goats for villagers and education for their children in Rwanda. How and why they do that is the subject of our program.
Bavandimwe mbabwire mbiyere impanuro, abanyeshuri mbabwire mbiyere impanuro, dore ubu muriga inyigisho zinyuranye, none icyo mwumva ni iki kuri ejo hanyu hazaza, mbese ni iki muteganiriza igihugu cyanyu?
Janet, in the not too distant past, we didn't even know where Rwanda was. You know, how did you get involved in faraway Rwanda?
I teach something called World Dance. We've been going about 3.5 years. It's a class in Santa Barbara where we do dances from around the world, and we have the purpose of giving money to charity, to helping communities that have no other help from anybody else, from any other organizations, and who are in dire need of help. And that is the purpose of World Dance. And so last year we had helped in Nepal and in Ghana and in Uganda and Kenya, other countries. And then at the end of last year we heard about a program called Goats for Life, which is based in Santa Barbara, and they help communities in Rwanda. And a few of us bought goats for Christmas presents, for holiday presents for family and friends, and gave it to these communities in Rwanda through this organization called Goats for Life that Betsy Kane is the founder of in Santa Barbara. And we were very excited about that because of all the programs we have been helping. We gave away $50,000 last year in aid money from our classes. And of all the programs, this is the one that resonated the most because we were able to really get to know the communities. We were able to get in touch with the person who's working on the ground very frequently and find out and get to know these people and do more and more. And that's how we got involved in Rwanda specifically. And then we learned more and are deepening our involvement.
Well, you learned more because you went there. You took a group of the dancers and you, last July, June, was it? June. Yeah, June, you went to Rwanda and you took a camera with you. And so we're going to see some footage of that trip. But tell us what we're going to see.
Maybe this is an unusual video to watch. And it was, well, the experience was unusual. We went with the purpose of getting to know the people. We're working with 12 communities in Rwanda, so about 5,000 people altogether, but 12 cooperatives. That's how they are organized in Rwanda. And as you said, helping them with livestock, with education, and with small businesses. And we went with the purpose of getting to know, of course, the communities and getting to know the man, Justin Bisingamana, who runs the programs there. And feeling if we felt that what we were doing was exactly the right thing. And we did those things, and we felt it was, and we really are convinced of that now. But what was interesting is, of course we knew we would dance, because these people, that's how they have nothing. They have absolutely nothing in their homes, in their villages, barely any food, hardly any water, no possessions, nothing. They dance. That's what they do. And of course we dance. We're dancers, and we had people of all ages with us. We have a couple in women in their 70s who were with us. But we found that when we first met the people in the cooperatives for the very first time, it was the dancing that connected us. We knew that would happen generally, but it was far beyond our wildest imaginations how intense and powerful that was. So the video you're going to see, that's what you're going to see. It's not about dancing per se, it's the fact that without a language in common, we were able to immediately have a connection with these people deeper than any connection we have ever felt. And the people on the trip are seasoned travelers. Most of them had been to Africa, had been to India, had been to Asia, had been all over the place. But for all of us, the 12 dancers and the others who went with us, it was that moment of contact. We just got off the bus in every cooperative we visited, our little bus, and found that they were dancing and singing and drumming when we arrived. And so we decided to just plunge in and do that with them. And that went on for hours, everywhere we went. And we looked each other deeply in each other's eyes, and that was it. From then on, we were connected and will be connected forever from those moments. So the video really does bring that out.
So there was no formal reception, no handshaking with the mayor and all of this?
After.
You got off the bus,
yeah,
and you started to dance.
The first that we were at Koyonza with Never Again Fellowship, and we arrived and we heard all this, and I looked in and I said, what are we going to do? Should we do something formal? No, let's just jump in. And there were about 200 people dancing, and we all just jumped in and merged with them, and then from then on, that's what we did everywhere. But we did have we did have the formal ceremonies with people and with the government, and singing and doing religious ceremony with them together. But that was always after.
Okay.
After we were already part of the community.
Let's take a few minutes and look at some footage of Santa Barbara dancers in Rwanda.
bavandimwe mbabwire mbihere impanuro abanyeshuri mbabwire mbihere impanuro dore ubu muriga inyigisho zinyuranye none icyo mwumva ni iki kuri ejo hanyu hazaza mbese ni iki muteganiriza igihugu cyacu.
We used to have donors who donated money, and they were like, it's just enough donating money and then we are done, and they couldn't make a follow-up. It's another huge commitment, and they have decided to come and see what they are supporting and how the community they are supporting is. It's a huge commitment, and everybody here is happy to see them working together and having this kind of fellowship. It's a physical fellowship because they have been hearing about them, and now they are experiencing who they are in a physical way.
Zuru mugabo kera wagiraga urugwiro n'ukuri wari nyangamugayo none ubu uri he warangagwa n'urukundo ntiwagiraga amatiku waruzi kwihakabanga none umeze ute amajwi yawo wahemukiye araguhamagara ngaho subiza shenge urahemuka bikambabaza kandi uzi neza ko ngukunda nkwifuriza kubaho neza we kwiyicira ubuzima nyabusa yewe mwana w'iwacu yewe gasaro k'iwacu wahindutse ute kubaje.
We're here and it is a celebration of life. Come on, let's see.
ahantu hanini dushaka gutunganya kugira ngo ukoreremo hajyawe
byose kugira ngo bibeho tubikesha ya matungo mwishyize hamwe muri kubyina nibyo.
Yeah, it's because of your working hard, meeting together, dancing together, encouraging people to come and pay for that money. That really helped us be able to get livestock. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to have livestock. So we thank you very much for dancing, encouraging people to give money, and giving us that money to purchase those goats.
Dishime kukubone chane chane. As you can hear, we are all so honored to be with you today.
Nk'uko mwabyumvise twese dufite amahirwe kubana namwe uyu munsi.
We were very happy to see some of your goats today. Let me tell you how we paid for those goats. So we got together and we made a dance event in our town. And all the people came, many people came to dance, and all the many people came and paid some money.
Yeah,
and we put together all that money and sent it to Justin. And with that, we were able to buy all the goats. So now we can all feel like we are one big family. Our family is now bigger and your family is now bigger.
Na kuva uyu munsi rero mumenye ko umuryango wanyu wagutse kuko tubaye bamwe mu muryango wanyu kandi
That's incredible. I'm surmising that the people who came back from that trip must have been fundamentally changed in some way. Was that right?
Yeah, as I said before, these were seasoned travelers. Jojo, who was with us with the long white hair, she's an anthropologist like I am, but her area was Africa, so she knows Africa well. But this was beyond anything she had experienced either in all her years there. So we were changed fundamentally in our ability to completely connect with these people. There was, as equals. There was no up, down, there was no, we're helping you and we're going to do this for you. It was none of that.
Well, you mentioned that you're engaged in helping 12 different cooperatives. And they had some interesting names. What's the origin of those names?
So Kungabo means fish farmers, and that's what they do. And the Abadakundana, the Twa, the Pygmies, but Never Again Fellowship is the biggest group that we work with. They actually are so big they have 6 subdivisions within their cooperative. Never again, meaning we will never again have a genocide. We will never again be part of something like that. So it's Hutu, Tutsi, and Twa, the 3 ethnic groups, decided to come and together and live. I had lived in Kosovo for 8 years altogether before the war, and worked in the Albanian Serbian community trying to work together. So I know what ethnic conflict is about, And I know what it's like to bring together two communities. And I've never seen anything like what the Never Again community has done. I mean, it sets a model worldwide. I mean, it is absolutely extraordinary that these people who were murdering each other are living together. I mean, they have murdered, assaulted, brutalized members of each other's families. And they are living and working together because they figured out that's the only way they're going to survive.
Let's take a quick look at where Rwanda is and where these 12 cooperatives are. We have some maps that we're going to show you. Rwanda, tiny speck in the central part of Africa. And here, identified in yellow or highlighted with yellow, are the cooperatives throughout the country that World Dance for Humanity helps.
And these cooperatives have different profiles. So some of them, several of them are AIDS patients, HIV/AIDS positive folks who are trying to stay alive. One group a couple of groups are orphans left from the genocide. Some of them are former sex workers. So they have all different profiles. What they have in common is they have come together and said, we are not going to survive unless we work together, work the land together, somehow have some piece of land we can work with. So our project now, we are very deep in this because we have gone and seen with our own eyes that these people, like I say, have nothing. They have no way to get anything. If you look at where they live, these are dirt huts with nothing, no possessions. And no way to kind of bring together capital in any kind of way. So we have a three-pronged program. One is the livestock. So if you give a family who has nothing and nobody is working, and some of the members have perished from the genocide, if you give them a goat, that goat will have babies twice a year, usually twins, and so they can sell the offspring, and with that small amount of cash, it will it's the tipping point for them. They will be able to buy their health card so they can have health care. They will be able to send a few kids to school. They will be able to do something to build up their own sustainability as a family. So these goats are critical in that way. Then they also produce fertilizer, which these people have none of. So that little bit, these are people living on the edge of existence, barely staying alive, and that little bit of help changes everything. That's one leg of what we're doing. The other leg is helping the kids get to school. So education is free in Rwanda, but you have to have a uniform and supplies and the means to get there. So we are, in 2014, we are trying to send 100 children and young adults to school, grammar school, secondary school, and college. If the families have had goats for a year or two, then they're able to do it themselves. And so as we move forward, the communities more and more will be able to do it themselves. The third leg is the businesses. So you saw in Kungabu, in the fish farming community, that's extraordinary what they've been able to do. Absolutely amazing. And now, instead of giving them money, what we're doing is helping them get a loan from the Bank of Rwanda so that they can enlarge that project, grow their community, set a model for other communities all throughout Rwanda, because hardly any people are producing fish. So that's just one example of the businesses we want to help them create. And because we're an all-volunteer organization, I do all the teaching for free, everybody helps for free, everybody is doing everything they can, so that every dollar that we raise through Thriller, which comes up now in October. Thrill the World is a global event, and we raise money. We're trying to raise $25,000 from the event, partly for the local Boys and Girls Clubs, but also for Rwanda. So that money and our class money and any donations, every single dollar goes completely to the programs that we're working on in Rwanda, because we have very tiny overhead, which has been covered by a donor. So every bit of money that we bring in goes to the project, and that's our goal, is to be able to bring a little bit of money, all these donations, directly to a people who can immediately apply it, and it will save their lives and then build their futures. And we are in contact with them every week. I'm Skyping every week with the people there. We will go there again to visit, and we will get to know more and more and deeper these people that we have just begun to get to know.
If people want to help, they can find you on a website?
The website is worlddanceforhumanity.org, worlddanceforhumanity.org, and there people will see lots of photographs and the video and all about the programs, meet all the students we're trying to support next year.
And we are out of time. Next month, we will be back and we will talk about the usefulness of war and see if we can't do away with it. Our two speakers, Professor Joe White from Santa Barbara City College and John Arguilla from the Naval Postgraduate School in Monterey, and they will be having an interesting conversation to try to see if we can do now what we tried to do in 1928, which was to outlaw war. Well, maybe we'll have a better chance this time. For Global Dialogue, good night.
bavandimwe mbabwire mbihere impanuro abanyeshuri mbabwire mbihere impanuro dore ubu muriga inyigisho zinyuranye none icyo mwumva ni iki kuri ejo hanyu hazaza mbese ni iki muteganiriza igihugu